Welcome back. If you just joined us, this is the press. We're reaching you live from KAFTAN's television studio here in the nation's capital, Abuja. I will go straight to analyzing the stories that we read out to you earlier. And like I said, my guest on the show today is Hassan Sadauna. He is a public affairs analyst. Great to have you on the show, Hassan Sadauna.
Thank you for having me, Annabel.
Great.
And good morning.
Good morning. All right, our phone lines are now open. You can call in to make your contributions or ask your question. But please remember, you just only have 1 minute to every caller. Now, let's start with what the first newspaper is saying. In fact, all the whole papers has the same thing but with different perspective. The Nation's newspaper says under 18 pupils barred from writing WAEC and NECO exams. But then if you check all the papers, like the first newspaper, it says, or let me go straight to the Punch. Punch says WASC, ASU and NUT defer as federal government bans under 18 candidates. But then the first newspaper says aged out. Will federal government's new 18-year policy for WAEC and NECO boost or hinder education? That is the question, and I will throw the question to you, Hassan Sadauna. What are your thoughts on this?
Okay. Annabel, my thought will not be far from any other person's thought. When an 18-year-old child or student has been barred from writing a NECO or WAEC, then we are talking about writing a WAEC must be above 18. Okay. And I'm a Muslim, a Hausa Fulani person from Kano State. If my daughter will go to read medicine, you are expecting my daughter to start at the age of maybe 20.
Right.
And anything from beginning to the end, she will spend 8 years consecutively. And then you are expecting me to marry out my daughter.
You didn't add the fact that strike me.
No, that is what, when it happens to be in a good favor, we always put a hope and rechange of happening in the tradition and making of the Nigerian universities. But can you think that I should allow my daughter to be staying until after 28 years of service or being a student? Then when she just finished, you are not expecting immediately, after you have suffered 8 years of paying schools, fees, and whatever. I think if I'm in position, I will join the parents and other citizens that will take the Minister of Education to court, because this is an enfranchisement of a right. They are denying the Nigerian citizens who are adults to write examination. There is nothing new that will going to be. You can't convince me that is good for that matter. The only advantage we are talking about, mostly a student that happen to be in the universities or the tertiary institution, most of them does not know why are they there. But the time to look for education, to go for learning prospects, it is when you are young. Well, anything after young youthful age, how would you make it?
Like they say, you can only bend an iron when it is hot.
What is hot? You are having that types of age. It is when as a child or having a very captive memory, when he can just learn within a short period and understand what you are talking about. Are you talking about you and myself now? Maybe at my age now, I'm about 50 years, and you are talking that I have a children and a grandchildren, maybe. Am I going to focus on what am I talking about? Material education or foodstuff, livelihood struggle and whatever? When a child of 18 years has been denied examination, who do you think will going to do the right thing?
I'm even wondering if they actually also put into consideration the fact that even when you want to get an employment, is an age bracket. They tell you if you're from 20 to 22 or
they are talking XYZ. About 22 to 29.
Well,
and then you are expecting a student to graduate at the age of 28 as a medical doctor, or you are expecting a law student to graduate at the age of 26. Already with the situation of Nigeria, why you will you stay for more than 10 years without having something doing from the government side, and still you can later get a job when you have been barricaded through up to 18 years or after above 18 years before writing an examination. I think this is a taboo. I think this is an insult. Okay. I don't know what is happening with Nigerians and Nigerian leadership. Something is wrong somewhere that we cannot able to identify it. We must look, whoever give this advice that a student or a child must be above 18 before writing, what are we insinuating? Where are we heading to? Any society that you want to deal with the society, to collapse that society to zero, one, you have to teach that society how to undermine, how to underrate. That is their leaders. Secondly, how to deal with their economic source, how you will deal with their educational background. And these are one of them. Already, when a leader has spoken 10 times, in these 10 times, it's very real to find out that 1 or 2 is true. We have stopped believing our leaders. And all these are the genesis of such a things. And when you are talking about education, and you are conferring that about 18 years old below, cannot write a WAEC, then when are we going to get it right? So as a professor, is that what he got? So is that what he was going to tell our president? Are we Nigerians will going to fold our arms to be looking at him?
Is it a problem with the fact that the older generation, they have a challenge with allowing the youth breathe or just do their thing? Maybe you look at the fact that it started from the presidential election. You have youth who came out and said that it is youth o'clock and all of that. But you have older persons who are supposed to allow the youth to take charge and use their intellectuals, to use their brains. But then they just say, okay, no, you have to shift. Let us just be sit tight syndrome. Yet we're the ones that are complaining that you have African presidents, someone like Paul Biya, who is still returning back again to the seat. What is it with African leaders or African people having that they don't always want to allow the youth to at least breathe, exhale, and have their way in?
You see, Annabel, I don't have a problem with whether you are 100 years, you can go for a seat. But when you go, can you able to perform? Are you having the capacity? Is there energy for you to do what you're supposed to do, so that you can able to, what do we call it, give people what they are asking or yearning for, or what they have voted you for? At the age of 94, what will they are going to deliver? Has he been doing very well in Cameroon? That is the question that you will ask yourself. The Africans is not about their age, but are they been delivering? Okay, take somebody like Joseph Kigali, what is his name? The president of Rwanda. If he will going to contest at this age of 70s now, he is going for, I think, his third time or fourth time, the Kigali, third time. He has just won the election, not quite a long time, about almost a year now. But what am I trying to say here? He revolutes, or he brings the presence or Rwanda to its presence today. Rwanda can manufacture cars, can manufacture what do we call it, these phones and whatever, and other things that you are not expecting. But what are we manufacturing in Nigeria? Uganda, Rwanda have suffered from a crisis of Tutsi and Hutu, where they have slaughtered a lot of people within themselves. But later they realize their mistakes, and who lead to the this cohesion, that is to bring Rwandans united. It is Joseph Kigali, and for that reason he has moved Rwanda to unexpected level. I know there are not many in their countries, but at least if they can do, or if we can able to do half of what they are doing in their country, to project Nigeria in the profession of development or growing. In fact, Annabel, I will not be, have you seen a sign of I'm happy? I'm not happy.
All right, let's quickly go to our phone line and take some calls. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning, sir. Tell us your name and where you're calling us from.
I'm calling from Bauchi. I'm Gonto.
All right, go ahead. You have 1 minute.
This issue of each bracket or barriers about writing WAEC, this is an issue that I will term it as dead on arrival. Like Hassan Sadauna has said already. So why would somebody limit years, of which constitutionally, statistically, we say 18 days an adult to do something, and you are denying somebody writing WAEC? This is rubbish, as far as I'm concerned. Thank you.
Thank you so much for your contribution. Now, before we leave this headline, I'll go back to the same question I asked you when we started. First newspaper says, aged out. Will federal government's new 18-year policy for WAEC and NECO boost or hinder education? That is the question. Let's take this next call before you take your answer. Hello, good morning. Good morning, sir. Great to have you. Tell us your name and where you're calling us from.
I am happy about the channel, your KAFTAN channel, so bright. As in fact, I commend you for the effort. Well done.
Thank you so much.
First of all, let me extend my condolences to the Commissioner of Finance in Medjugorje that is just passed away, and rest in peace.
Amen.
Then I go further to commend the Governor of Adamawa State for implementing the minimum wage for his state government worker as the first governor in Nigeria to implement that. My challenge to governors of Niger Delta, who they get 13% remuneration and huge money. Up to now, we never see anything from them. And they tell them, let them talk. And then those in Abuja who are taking big billions, let them also know. People all over Nigeria are waiting to hear something about this minimum wage. No be story. So we don't want story. That is it. Then secondly, as Chief Obasanjo, former president, said, poverty in Nigeria is not made by God from one of these papers.
It's not an act of God.
No. I reason with him. Because poverty is not by God. It's by Nigerian leaders who take this our money, go dump it in Dubai, in London, and everywhere, while we are crying of poverty. If they can bring those money that they kept there, bring it, invest it, open factories and everything, job opportunity will be everywhere. People will not be looking for work from government organizations. This is how other countries develop themselves. But unfortunately, our own is so bad that whatever money that's looted or whatever, wherever they get it, they'll change it, take it back to the sender.
All right.
And outsiders, leaving us in poverty. This is wrong. Then the issue of this age bracket of my children that are about to write a WAEC, they are wondering, the Minister of Education was a vice chancellor in each University of Medjugorje. He was here as the academic. So his own children, I am happy. One of his child, I was told one of his child, whether he is going to be allowed to write the WAEC or not, I will see. Because he himself is going to be a victim. So what I'm now saying is that this kind of a thing should not be meant to be.
All right. Thank you so much.
Get a public opinion before you bring out some of these guys. You don't need to bring trouble when we are already faced with difficulties of money, feeding, problems of a problem.
Thank you so much. All right, thank you so much. Your point is very well taken. So I'm sure he meant if you live in glass house, please don't throw stones. Like I said, very quickly before we leave this headline, Hassan Sadauna, will federal government's new 18-year policy for WAEC and NECO boost or hinder education?
You see, that is why I've said personally that if I will going to join the millions of Nigeria that will take the Minister of Education to the court. It's so long we have that they should include me. Those who are taking their grievances to the court, I will be joined there. The reason behind is that it has never happened or occurred in the history of Nigeria. Nothing like this.
But I heard this last caller saying that even one of his child is going to be a victim. So he's waiting to see if the minister's child, who is going to be a victim of this policy, if he's going to bend the policy over or maybe even join you in the protest, or join you people going to court.
The fact remains this: most of the well-doing citizens, that is the proletarian class citizens in Nigeria, they will take their children out of Nigeria for studying. Yes, they will going to do that. There are a lot of decisions taken by this education ministry that is very, very worrisome and troublesome. If you look at what happened yesterday, they announced 22,700 students that have had certificate from Togo and what do we call it? Benin from 2017 to date will going to be affected. Yes, they will going to be affected. But do you think that everyone among them, each and everyone among them that has studied from 2017 to date is not obtaining a very good degree? And it's not. You can't tell me that everyone is faulty. No. What we are talking about here is that there are genuine universities that are in Togo and Cotonou. And what are the essence of this? One of the reasons is because of this type of styles. of governance, where education has become dilapidated, has become mushrooms houses.
So if
where
you can't afford abroad, you just do Togo or Benin.
Yes, they will go to and do their degrees outside Nigeria, and because of seeing it in numbers, the total number of students in what do we call it, Cotonou, might not exceed 22,000 in 5 years. We have outnumbered them, but you can see, because they are very neighbors to us, that has led to what we are doing maybe in Nigeria. It is very saddening when we are talking about 22,000 will going to lose either their certificate or their job. Some of them are even working class citizens. But the fact remains that we must do justice. I am with Nigeria that anybody who went and got his certificate 1 year, 2 years with the name of degree, he should be fired out. But there are those who are very genuine, and they are, like now, I was listening to one of the media outfits on my way coming here. Two of the students, they are in 200 level, and they are doing their IT in journalism here in Abuja for good 6 months. Are you telling me somebody that is in a 200 level and he is doing his attachment ITF for good 6 months here in Nigeria, is he not undergoing a genuine degree? It is undergoing a genuine degree. But those who went there and got their certificate, like the ways that a reporter did, in 6 weeks, 6 months, 1 year, 2 years, and got a degree, you have a right to penalize them. There is nothing wrong. But cannot.
These things also happen in Nigerian universities also.
You see, I don't want to say it because now we are talking about Togo and Cotonou degrees.
But that's true, because I remember even when I was in a class, you just see someone who come 1 day or 2 days, you don't see them again, and then the next thing when you are graduating, you just see their names, and then they're all graduating.
You see, that is why we have he who come with what they say should come with clean hands.
Come to equity.
Yes. So what we are trying to say here is that what is disturbing me is it the professor of our education in Nigeria, that is a minister of education, does not aware of all these things? Were they not updated about all these things? They are. I was listening to Jambo sometimes back, Professor Isiaka, when he was saying that his third class student, past student, degree, was the best student in one of the universities at UK, where he went to be a resource person in their graduation. They presented the best student who he was, his VC. The reason why he was telling this story is that he said, the journalist asked him a question in Morning Nigeria, that you are saying that our education is even trying, is doing very well. If they are doing not doing well, are they going to do big? Yes, he said he wished they were not going to join the other countries. He said, give me an example. He went straight and mentioned in the UK, England, that their degree is just a caricature. Then you can see what I'm trying to say. Most of them here, they will deny our children an opportunity to go to universities at a very tender age, where their brains are very important to them, and they can think and rethink of everything, and they can carry everything in their brains and take their children to Harvard universities or
because whether you like it or not, age has a way of playing on you. When you're going to school, I was telling someone that going to school and working, it's not easy. But then when you don't have anything you're doing, you're at that age, you go to school, you cannot even undermine or underestimate what you can achieve. Let's go back to our phone line and see who is calling us. Good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning, sir. Tell us your name and where you're calling us from.
Yeah, my name is Sadiq Yakubu, calling you people from Bauchi State.
Sadiq Yakubu from Bauchi, go ahead.
Yeah, do you know that during my service year in 2017/2018 in Jigawa State, I served with a lady who told me that she had obtained her master's degree in Toronto. Do you know what is her age? Her age was less than 23. If a lady will have masters at the age of 23, why are in Toronto? Why are they trying to deny the Nigerian citizen this kind of advantages? So it's not right. It's not right. I don't know what our professors are thinking to make these options. To be frank and sincere, this right is not right. This solution is not right for Nigeria.
All right.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Have a wonderful day to you too. Thank you so much for calling. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, sir. Tell us your name and where you're calling us from.
My name is Mr. Sadauna. I'm calling from Kano.
Go ahead, please.
Yes. Thank you, ma. And that's my uncle in the studio has said it all. You see, in Nigeria, we have a big problem in Nigeria. Most especially us, our leaders. See what happened in Argentina of recent. Argentina, their elected president was elected after Tinubu was elected. And to make a promise to them that after 6 months that I was elected, I will make sure that I change this country to be good. If I refuse to do that, the whole Argentina to do whatever, anything they like.
All right.
And when this man gets to the seat, the first thing this man did, the 2 private jets for presidential election, this man sold it. The cabinet she has in 24 cabinet, she matched almost 4. After that man did that, this man made sure that she made their money equal, and but they have the highest money, they have the situation as Nigeria.
Okay, you need to land on your thoughts. You need to land on your thoughts because our time is fast spent.
Okay, so just let me cool down up.
Please do.
About 5 days ago, Argentina. They do just like in protest, but not protest. They celebrate their president on 6 months. Where are we going in Nigeria? Where are we going in Nigeria? You see, our president, our National Assembly, our Senate, they can't deliver Nigeria to anywhere.
All right, thank you so much.
They just have to eat under their own pocket, not for Nigerian people.
Thank you so much. Your point is very well taken.
So I've said everything wrong. We are totally mess in this country.
Thank you so much. We might have to let you go. Thank you so much. Your point is very well taken. Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, sir. Tell us your name and where you're calling us from.
This is Mark and Graham. I'm calling from.
All right, go ahead, Mark. 1 minute, please.
Honestly, it's also funny and it sounds so ridiculous. Just like what Mr. Sadauna was saying. Like, to me, from what I just heard now, if the Minister of Education can come out and tell us the year he joined primary school and when he finished primary school, at what age did he join university, and when he finished university, and at that time, how is the education system of the country was compared to the era we are now? Most of them that they are enjoying all this national liberty or national cake that they are sharing within themselves, they were opportune to go to a higher institution under the federal government scholarship. They were taken care of free of charge. Everything was being made available for them. There was no any stress.
All right.
So now go to some of our federal universities. Go and see how dilapidated the facilities are looking.
All right.
Yes, the parents are struggling, coughing out to see how they will push the children. Most of these federal universities, how many of the federal universities can they tell you that they are admitting more than 5,000 students? Do they have the hostels that they are hosting those students there? Is it not from?
All right, thank you so much.
The students are going to stay and they will come inside the school premises. They are not taking care of all those things, and they are not bringing out some policies that want to do real. It will not go well with them.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Let other people to come and take care of our education.
Thank you so much. We'll have to let you go. Thank you so much. The outburst is really, really, really. I wish we could actually go on with that. Let's just leave that headline, because if we continue on it, we'll not be able to touch on other ones. Okay, so let's go to other stories this morning. Like one of our callers talked about, well, I can't remember the headline, I saw it, but former President Olusegun Obasanjo says poverty in Africa or even in Nigeria is not an act of God. And there's another one here. He says youths are angry, there will be trouble if we don't act. That's coming from former President Olusegun Obasanjo. But then if you look on other stories, the first newspaper says Lukman warns that Tinubu on track to becoming worse than Buhari. What are your thoughts on all of this? Putting them together.
Okay, whether you like it or not, I'm from Kano. We had just recently a national protest to end the bad governance in Nigeria. What happened in Kano is a kind of a sign of what all these things that these people are saying, both the former president and whoever, that Nigerians are not having it right, and the difficulties and the poverty that people are facing with the insecurity in Nigeria is something to talk of. Just recently, you can testify that an emir was kidnapped and was killed. After they even collected about 60 million with 5 motorcycles as a ransom. The ransom later replaced his son, who they were kidnapped together. Okay, what am I trying to say? I was among those people who have been talking on this table. I said it, that we are not supporting protest. We don't want protest. But there is one thing that I realize our leaders are afraid of. For a Christian or a Muslim to stay on top of his knees, to be praying that God deal with these people that are inhuman and having evil faces. They don't need that prayers. And I think that should be the right thing that Nigerians should do. But when they allowed this thing that is happening, the next thing what we are afraid of is it will not going to be a protest.
But then I actually saw a particular post. We were supposed to use that yesterday. It was on social media where some people were saying that they should allow, instead of just only politicians swearing with the Bible or the Holy Quran, they should also use traditional. They should go traditional way. Maybe that one. There's always this quick to strike when you offend. Would that do anything at all? You
see, whatever there are traditionalists. That is traditionalist, that is who does not believe in Christianity or Islam. So they can have that right. If you are talking about right, you cannot stop somebody from his religion or his way of living. You understand what I'm saying? Even if you are a Muslim, you said you won't swear with Quran, nobody will force you. And the same thing if you are a Christian, if you say you won't swear with the Bible, you will take an oath. Nothing. I have seen that. There was somebody who I knew was a chairman elected. When he was asked to swear with Quran, he said, will not. What do you? I said, there is an oath, so he will take an oath. And he took an oath. So what am I trying to say here is that enough alone, swearing with either traditionals or whatever, will not help matters. But let people know that whether you are a Muslim or a Christian or an animist, if you know that these people are cheating on you, or there is injustice in the making, once you pray, God will answer you, because it is there in every book, holy books that we are having. But the major things is that we don't want to cause our leaders. We want them to come to the right way or the right path, to make sure that when they are on the right way, we will going to enjoy it. Being causing them at the end of the day, both them and us, we will going to face the consequences. But the most important things, they have almost pushed everyone to the wall. Let me give you an example. When this government come, there is, you know it very well, that many of them among the government said that they have met a dilapidated economy. Right. You know that very well.
Empty treasury.
Empty treasury. Empty treasury with 5 million presidential yachts. empty treasury with 21 billion house for the vice president, empty treasury with about 20 something billions of the motorcade of the president, billions of nairas of what do we call its presidential jet, increment of salary and allowance for the Senate and the House of Reps, speedy increment of 300% of the judiciary. Are you talking about 15 to 16 trillion highway, coastal highway from Lagos to Calabar? Are we talking about this and that? You can continue mentioning the increment of revenue allocation to state and local government, and still you are telling us that you have made a dilapidated economy. We are not more children. Please, people should understand that. You can be a president at this your age. Don't mention me. I have already all enough. When Yakubu Gowon was a president, he became a head of state, not just a president, a head, military head, at the age of 29. And he became one of the greatest presidents we have in Nigeria. So why not at this age? But my conscience or my worriness is that for the first time we are having the most richest president in Nigeria. So we are expecting him to sacrifice a lot of things in terms of financial and whatever doing. But people are still living in the past. Talking about the past glory, where you have been bundling citizens of Nigeria anyhow from left to right, from center to backward. This time around, people are, see, I'm a party member. You know that very well.
I do.
I supported Tinubu. Nobody can tell me that he's better than me in APC just because I've not been given a ministerial position or anything by. No. But let us be very honest. Anything good for him is good for Nigerians. Anything good for us should be good for him. Not only thing you can tell us, Nigeria, I know your problem. Endure that problem.
Keep taking baby steps of
but there is no sign that you are sympathizing with us. You have been flying bourgeois life. You have not reduced your what is right for you. Okay, now look at, you can hear from one caller that he was just turning off for the governor of what do we call it, Adamawa State, for being the first person to start paying the 70,000 minimum. His neighbor, Gombe State, is telling you that he cannot afford to pay 70,000. For God's sake, are you trying to compare with what the other one was saying? Anything to do with the masses, we are at the receive end. But anything for them, they will quickly do it and make sure that they have put it in a right way where they will get it.
But okay, let me play the devil's advocate for that Gombe governor. Probably he will say that you cannot compare what you have in other states. Maybe like when they started that was it VAT, and then they said when they had that issue with you say you don't want liquor, but you want to collect liquor money, and then some other governors will come out to say that my state is just a small state. You cannot expect me to get as much as what you are getting in Kano State, in Lagos State, in Port Harcourt, and all. So let me make the excuse for that Gombe State governor. You cannot expect him. Probably he's saying that I don't have enough revenue to pay my workers as
Annabel,
much as the
I will not I will not allow you to finish this statement. Already you have said let you play the evil advocate. Am I right? So you have answered yourself. So that is a devilish word he used by, if you talk of Gombe, they have about, I think, 11 or 13 local government. Can you compare them with Jigawa with 27? Can you compare them with Borno with 27? Are you taking them with Katsina that has 34 or the Kano that has 44? You have just 13 local government. And when he was saying that very month he receives about 27 billion naira given to them by the president, next to Zamfara state governor, who collected 49 billion naira. Yes, they were the highest people that collected that amount. Even Lagos could not collect 10 billion. Kano collected only 6 billion, with equal to FCT here, that has only 6 area council. So let me put it to you, that these people must change. The semi-god people we have in Nigeria are our governors, and they must come to face their consequences or the challenges that is facing them, to make sure that they have done the right thing without coming up uprightly to do what they have been choosing for. Annabel, I am just telling you that what former President Obasanjo is saying, that we are sitting on guns powder, is not a lie, it's true. You see, when you see somebody that knows me, have seen me talking this way, I went to my hometown, Kano, and then traveled to my village, because I have a village. you will see there is what they call tafasa. You see people eating tafasa.
What is tafasa?
There is one leaves like this that even a goat or animals doesn't eat it.
Oh, wow.
But we are eating it today in our part of northern Nigeria. In Yobe State, there is what they call, there is this one, ants that always dig sand. You will see them bringing sand outside in a very in Sahara, sub-Saharan areas. Inside it, they normally bring grains and put. Women are digging that place and be getting small grains that they will go to sieve and take back to their homes. Few months back. Then we are talking about here we are living, where you are seeing an emir has been kidnapped and being killed, murdered. Then think of you as ordinary person. As of yesterday, they were saying that about 150 people were kidnapped in Sabon Birni, Gobir. So if you are talking about that, who do you think is safe? See, stitches in time, save 9. I think it is time we said it the way it is. To God be the glory. If we will try to do this thing as much as possible. Somebody just called now that where the minister should come out and tell us when he might do his degree at the age of 35. But as a man, he has nothing to lose. But women has at the receive end every time. So by the time a woman reaches 35, what is she going to do? What we are talking about is very real, and we are not just selfish. We are trying to put the record straight so that even after we are not alive, those who are coming behind us will say that Annabel and Sadauna once had an interview, and this is what they said. All
right, thank you so much. Our time is fast spent. We'll go straight to our social media corner immediately because I need you to analyze in 1 minute one of the social media videos. We're seeing a video of staffs of DSS rejoicing because their DG was sacked and changed. Let's see that video, then we'll come to analyze it and end the program. Okay, so Hassan Sadauna, why exactly do you think that the DSS staff would be happy? Are they happy because some of the comments I read, some people said that civil service, because they like fraud, they like corruption. That's the reason why, because maybe he's not allowing them to use their pen to do whatever they want to do. That's the reason why they're happy that he has excused them. While some other person said probably he was just one very principled, and some other person say wicked boss, and so they're just happy that he has left, just like people were rejoicing during the death of Abacha. Do you agree with all of this?
That is the result of the bad, the good, and the ugly. You know, we had that very film. So what we are trying to say here is that I have seen that in the last dispensation of President Muhammadu Buhari, when an executive secretary was removed from TED Fund, when they were rejoicing, and after I made my finding, I realized that he was one of the most wicked boss that they were talking about. In fact, the rejoicing of those people, you see, you know, there is Sharia. We all normally talk about Sharia. Do you remember? But when the boss was, the former boss was brought back, that is Professor Suleiman Ogoro, women of capacity are hugging him. These women with hijab. Are you getting what I'm saying? That shows that that man was a gentleman. Are you getting what I'm saying? Okay. Who was brought back. Okay. And then when the narration came out, okay, come to this DSS. This DSS, one have to deal with it with a sensitivity of thinking. The reason why I'm saying that is that the person that we knew, he was even a director of this DSS at Lagos State, sometimes when the serving president was a governor. Then secondly, he served here at this during Buhari time, after the removal of Lawal Daura, who we had a lot of things about him which you know vividly. Okay, coming to this one now. Okay,
our time is fast, but if you can just help us round off in 30 seconds, please.
What am I trying to say here is that it can be either he was a wicked boss, and now they felt that they have been relieved. God has done his mercy. Or secondly, that what you are talking about, the other side, where they felt being trying to be doing the right thing have made you to be a wicked boss. So hands are not exchanging within the system. So now maybe the person that has come up, they knew him, and they will be doing chop, I chop.
Hassan Sadauna, thank you so much for your time with us. It's always a pleasure talking to you.
Thank you for having me, Annabel.
All right, let's still stay on social media corner before we go off your screens. Here you have from NFF says German Bruno Labbadia becomes 37th head coach of the Super Eagles of Nigeria. The Nigerian Football Federation has announced that it has reached an agreement with German tactician Bruno Labbadia to become the head coach of Nigeria's Superman national team, Super Eagles. Hearty congratulations to Super Eagles. I hope that we're able to do better this time as they now have a new coach. Let's go straight to the next one from Sheyi Tinubu, where they say, what is Sheyi Tinubu looking for during the swearing in of the new CJN Kekere Ekong? All right, Omotayo says, right, is Sheyi Tinubu sitting comfortably at last week's CJN swearing in, but left is Tinubu warning his son to stay away from fake last year. What capacity is Sheyi acting in within the current government? If you like, close your brain and let APC dissolve you with propaganda. The next one from Joba says, what is Sheyi Tinubu doing at the swearing-in ceremony of Justice Kekere Ekong as the acting CJN of Nigeria? Honorable Real One says Sheyi Tinubu is in attendance. In what capacity? Nigeria is too big to be making family affair on the issue of critical national dialogue. I urge Mr. President to appoint his son as SSA on public dialogue so he can fit into the system rather than yet another public disgrace. All right, quite a number of comments coming from there, but we'll just have to go. Our time is fast spent. Thank you so much for your time with us. I'll see you again tomorrow on the press. But remember to stay tuned to KAFTAN Television. See you tonight on The Conversation, 10 o'clock. My name is Annabel Orji. Good morning.